the difficulty. A problem that actually starts from the very family level, through the community. A society that believes that, listen, corruption is corruption only when you are not sharing the booty. So Evans is not corrupt as long as Evans can share the booty. Mm-hmm. Now, when Evans is able to share that booty among Keith and King, Evans is not corrupt, Evans is a generous person. And if you have a society whose mindset is that things are okay once the person is sharing, then that society has quite a long way to go.
Leadership,
so that's what I'm saying.
Leadership is what you need to change that.
I agree. But don't forget, leadership per se does not remove all the problems. Leadership can set a certain example. But in order to have a sustainable solution, you need to transcend just those who are merely at the nominal level of leadership and appreciate that it is a society-wide problem. And therefore, we need to find ways in which it can permeate across the whole society. Because don't forget, leaders are simply a product of the society. Evans is where he is, and it's a product of a school. It's a product of a family. It's a product of a community. You don't simply just transform into an angel just because you move from that community and become Evans. No. Where you are, you still are carrying those values and so on. So sometimes it's important to work on the threshold, that's it. But I think in order to have a sustainable solution, we need to transcend this mere what you call thresholds and go into a wider conversation that could bring about transformation.
Let's talk about something that you have, I guess, your biggest challenge yet. Filling the municipal district, municipal metropolitan, and metropolitan assembly chief executives positions across the country. I know the party has been involved in this very keenly. In the past, it's been that single process that is not managed properly. Will set the party up either for success or failure down the line because of this the potential for it to be very acrimonious. How are you managing this process differently? Has anything changed? Is it still keeping with the business as usual conversation that we've been having? Because we've seen a fair bit of chaos across the country.
Sure. I would say relatively we've done far better now than we had in the past.
What are you doing differently?
Let's say, for example, in 2009, I mean, it took us literally forever to be able to even have the MMDCs in place. This time around, we've been able to accomplish that within the first 100 days. And so that tells you that we appreciate that it's important not simply to have what you call appointees at the top, but you must have appointees all the way in every district of the country in order for you to know that you are truly in charge of the things. This time around, we also ensure that we made the process to be, should I call it, as comprehensive as possible. We created an opportunity to allow as many people as possible to show an interest. We went through what you call a first vetting in order to be able to narrow down, the applicants. And then after that, brought them into the national level where we took our time to be able to do a proper vetting of them. And we didn't just do it based on what we know of them. We actually even got different groups to give us a thorough, assessment of the various individuals in order to gauge what the mood of the country was in the various districts. So, for example, we got a research group that, for example, was able to give us a lot of information relating to what really does the ground want as to the people who are whose name were coming out of them. This one has got what you call a capacity.
So you adopt a scientific approach to it?
Actually, we had that. We had, for example, a proper, a very comprehensive, security report that also gave us a lot of information. We consulted what you call the chiefs and so on. So we try as much as possible to come down.
And what was the objective of this? What did you want?
We wanted to make sure we pick individuals who, as much as possible, reflected the aspirations of the people as much as possible. I mean, you cannot get it perfect, but at least you can narrow it to ensure that if Evans is the one we are settling for, events is emerging in the assessment that are coming. In the assessment being done by what you call the intelligence group, the assessment being done by the, should I call it the security group, what the chiefs are saying. So as much as possible, what the party is saying. So you look at all that and then finally come upon a decision. I would say, by and large, we did a fairly good job. Because for that, you would have seen far more outcry, far more anger.
So are you surprised into the land and see in some of the places it's acrimonial nonetheless?
It's normal. You would know, you should appreciate it. It's as long as humans are humans, especially these are positions that everybody wants. So sometimes Evans wants it, and Evans is not able to get it. Evans finds a way to stalk his should I call it, admirers and followers to go and make some noise, get some media people who can hear me, and so on. It's normal. It's politics. You appreciate. So, but you can't make it. You can't get it 100%.
Is the party not imposing your own people on district, municipal assemblies, municipal assemblies?
No, actually, it's the opposite. Because if we wanted to go on a position, why would we go through 2 months plus of rigorous vetting? And I'm talking every single day.
No, you need a cover.
No, I mean, why would I go through that? No, why would I? We had a lot to do.
Have a good smooth school.
We had a lot to do. I mean, we're talking about the first 100 days of a government. There's so much to do. I mean, why would we go through over 2 months of rigorous vetting from morning through to night? Sometimes as late as we're almost getting to midnight, busy working, trying to get these applicants through a rigorous. You won't go through that unless you are trying very hard to get the best that you can on the ground.
Then how are you managing your members of parliament? Because that is where the friction is. Members of parliament not agreeing or at opposite ends with the district chief executive, for example. It always sets the stage. The chief executive has his own ambitions to oust the incumbent members of parliament.
Sure.
How have you managed that?
That's always a tough one. That's always a very tough one. I've been a member of parliament myself, so I can appreciate that as much as possible, you want there to be harmony between yourself and the chief executive, also in the same district or municipality, as much as possible. So we try very much to find ways to ascertain what I call the intentions of those applicants. If, for example, we notice that you've already had a very acrimonious relationship with a particular MP already, as much as possible, we wouldn't let you be the chief executive because we don't want to create a situation where right from the word there's going to be just what you call a fight between two individuals who are supposed to be working together, to advance the cause of a community. So right from the word go, we try to, as much as possible, look for individuals who are interested in harmonious collaboration rather than individuals having their own agenda, who instead of thinking about how to work hard for the community, it's saying, how can I upstage you and take your place? So that is one. But that is not the only one. The main challenge, however, is often sometimes is that some of the MPs are a bit too insecure. So almost everybody is supposed to be threats for the future. So even if Evans doesn't even show that I have even a plan to work against you, I really don't want Evans because Evans looks like one who maybe tomorrow can change his mind. That becomes difficult, you understand? Because you need to appreciate that humans, the people who are working hard, they need to be given an opportunity. We simply can't be making decisions based on your insecurities and your fears for the future. Otherwise, it means that nobody will have any opportunity as long as your own fears and insecurities are there. So this is a delicate balance, and I would say we try hard to navigate it in order to ensure that as much as possible we choose individuals who reflect the real aspiration of the ground.
And that is the General Secretary of the NDC, is my guest here on PMX. So I'm going to take a quick break. When I return, this is John Dramani Mahama's last term. He says this is a legacy term. But the party will have a big decision to make. And John Mahama has been in the face of the party for a long time, since 2012. They'll have a new face in 2028. That always will give any general secretary and chairman sleepless nights how to manage this transition process. Because if you do fail, it can be deal making. of the NDC. I'll ask him his thoughts on how the party plans to manage an outcome that will still leave the NDC in a strong position to challenge in the 2028 election. Stay with me here on PM Express.
Motiasie Oma wusa mo ye cash cow mo say ebusua kuruwa sana MPP tirim no sana mo hu Ghana fo Ghana yet say ebusua kuruwa omo nu say ho no mo betam sika poduo no koyi ekobo mo bra into omunya power. It is all about stealing from you, because anka nyansa anka at this point, you know, we should have a new presidential jet. Go and do your own checks. The far corner president timuno, it can drop any day. Ayatiti plane. The design here, the model is not in existence again. They don't manufacture. So all that we'll be doing every time, and they say, every day, piano, we will have to take it to France and go and repair it. Why don't we